To win 7,
Yeah.
I've got into my 40s to win my 7th. We had children. I think that's a really good example of it. But currently it's Tom Brady.
What consumes your thoughts on a day in, day out basis?
It's, there's a lot going on in life now. So, balance of work life, family life. But in that headspace of racing, I had a swim coach teach me how to really visualize my start, my stroke, my turn. So I've adapted that to my car racing stuff, and depending on the upcoming race or the race that I just had, as I'm building my notes or preparing for the next one, I literally drive laps in my head.
Sometimes in bed too, right?
Yeah, that's the best way to fall asleep for me. Just sit there and run laps in my head. It's funny because I'll micromanage in my thought the lap, and I'll make a mistake and I'll start over. And so I keep working my way around whatever the track is, and then before I know it, I'm asleep.
Is there a specific track that you most commonly go to, or?
A lot of times it's a track that I just left as I'm working on my notes to prepare for the upcoming race. And then the upcoming race, when I dive back into those notes, when I'm able to drive in the simulator or even have a chance to drive the track, it brings all that back, and I just get into that visualization space.
And does Shani know what you're doing?
I'm sure I've told her about it, but I don't know if she realizes how many nights I've fallen asleep to that.
There's not some look you get where she knows you're off in Never Land.
You bring up a good point. Around race weekends, even my friends know that there's Fun Jimmie and there's Race Jimmie. And when I go into Race Jimmie, I'm definitely much more inside my head and less social.
How do you beat yourself up?
I think on mistakes that I've made, some are visible, some are not. There are habits usually driven by fear in a race car that just get under my skin, and I'll start beating myself up on that. Like, man, let go. You just got to send it. The fear going in is always pretty intense and almost debilitating, but I've found that once I take that step forward and I'm in the moment, that I manage and deal with it much more. And then on the backside, the reward is so high, that's always kept me coming back.
You said almost debilitating.
Yeah.
How so?
Yeah, I think of recent times in the week leading into a championship, the day before the championship, the hours before you fire the engines to go racing. The weight of the moment, for myself, the thinking and overthinking, it just is an energy drain of epic proportion and paralyzing. And I've literally had to run through my head, step out of the motorhome, walk 2 driver introductions, get in the car, fire the engine, and walk myself through it. And it's wild. Fire the engine, and all of a sudden I wake back up and it's time to go.
As anybody gets older, responsibility increases.
Yeah.
Most often personal life becomes more consuming. How, if at all, do you think that impacts pursuit of excellence?
There are older athletes now that are highly successful, and I've worked up this theory in my own mind that it's due to who's around them. First and foremost, their spouse and the support they have from their spouse. And Shani's support and understanding of what makes me me and chasing my dream, none of this would have happened at the level that it has or continue to take place if it wasn't for her support. I'm as excited today to go racing as I was when I was a teenager, and I don't think that's very common, and it has so much to do with the people that are around you. I wish I was a little bit better of an example of winning championships still right now today, but to win 7, I've got into my 40s to win my 7th. We had children. I think that's a really good example of it. But currently it's Tom Brady. You continue to hear these stories about he's the first one in the building, the last one out. He's working with second string guys. He's working with the kicking team. He is so embedded and ingrained in that team. That's what it takes to continue to operate at a high level. I don't know him personally, so I don't know his family life, but it certainly appears that he's in a very good place and has that support at home, which allows him to spend the time that he needs.